So you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, but you know what? Las Vegas is not for everybody. In this box, I've got 10 things that I've observed while living here over the last 20 years that I think you're absolutely gonna hate about Las Vegas. I'm gonna dive into them all, and we're gonna get into it right now. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the channel. I'm Tom Swallow with eXp Realty and Finding Home Las Vegas. My team and I get calls, texts, and emails every day from people just like you looking to make the move to Las Vegas, and hey, we love it. We work our butt off days, nights, and weekends. It doesn't matter. We got you back. We put out videos every week teaching you everything you want to know about living, working, and playing in beautiful Sin City. So subscribe below and hit that bell icon for notification so you'll be the first to know when we have a new video out teaching you everything you want to know about Las Vegas. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the box down right here. I'm going to pull them out one at a time. I'm going to be brutally honest about each and every one of them. Not going to sugarcoat a thing, and it's going to be your job to decide if you can handle any of these things should you decide to move here. So let's get started. Let's see here. What is number one? There it is. Road construction. So road construction is something that we are continually dealing here with in the valley. You know, I've been here for almost 20 years, and when I first moved here, it was the 95 going from downtown up towards the northwest where I lived at the time. I would have to sit in traffic sometimes for almost an hour to get what would normally take about 10 minutes. It was absolutely crazy. So it hasn't changed. I mean, it just moves from one part of town to the next part of town. We are growing extremely fast, and as we grow, the need for having our roads and infrastructure updated it's just part of the deal. So it doesn't matter what part of town you're in, it seems like there's constantly something under construction. Those orange cones and flagmen and traffic backed up, it's just part of what happens when you have a growing city. So just be prepared to put up with a lot of road construction around town. All right, let's get going on number two here. What is number two? By the way, how do you guys like my box? I've built that all by myself. How about that? All right, number two. The number one thing people are worried about, the intense heat, and it is hot. And the heat. Oh my God, the heat. It's hot. Now, not all year long. I mean, we're really looking at a couple of months out of the year where it's really, really intense and really bad. Where, you know, July and August is typically the worst. I mean, actually, we're here, and at the time of this taping, it's mid-June, and we barely even hit 100 so far. So we've been let off the hook so far this year. A lot of times in early June, we get up over 100 already, but it is hot. Have you ever opened up a pizza oven and just got hit with that blast of hot air? That's kind of what it feels like here in the summer. You know, even if you're out on the lake, on Lake Mead, and you're in a jet, in a ski boat going across the lake going 40 miles an hour, it feels like a hot blow dryer just blowing on you, even out on the water. So it does get hot. So one of the things that I've noticed though is, you know, growing up, again, I'm from Louisiana, is where I grew up, and I lived in Florida, I lived in Costa Rica, I lived in Mexico. I've lived most of my life, or previous part of my life, in heavy humidity. And when I first moved out west and I felt this dry air, I fell in love with it. I remember getting out of a pool one time when it was well over 100 degrees and I was instantly cold, and I couldn't figure out why I was cold. Because the dry air, the water evaporates off of you so quickly, it actually makes you feel cold. So the difference between humidity and, you know what they say, it's dry heat. But once it gets over, you know, 108, 110, it's still really, really hot. You know, you have to put up with that with your car and getting into the car, and, you know, if you even leave the car in the parking lot for 10 minutes, I mean, it takes another 15 minutes for it to cool back off with the air conditioner blowing full blast. But, you know, again, it's only a couple of months out of the year that it's really, really bad, and the rest of the year it's pretty much perfect. So the heat is something, if you can't deal with intense heat, you might not want to move here. All right, back to the box again. What is number three? Let's see here. Sky high car insurance. Yeah, you're going to be amazed at how much your car insurance is going to go up when you move here from another state. So car insurance. Your insurance is most likely going to double when you move here, at least double. I was blown away when I moved here. We moved here from California back in 2005, and when I first moved here and we insured our vehicles here at the time, my insurance literally doubled from California where I moved. And I think a big part of that is, again, it's a 24-hour town. There's a lot of DUIs. There's a lot of uninsured drivers. There's a lot of transient people that come and go from town that aren't here long term. So that honestly, it just drives up insurance rates. So it is what it is. Be prepared to pay that higher insurance cost. So car insurance, another one that if you can't deal with that, don't move here. Okay, back to the box again. Number 4. Let's see what we got coming out of the box. Number 4. Critters. Creepy, crawly critters of all types here in Las Vegas. So let's dive into what the critter situation is like. Critters. Where there's a lot of critters. There's creepy, crawly critters. There's furry critters. There's everything from scorpions to black widow spiders to tarantulas to rattlesnakes to even coyotes and mountain lions. Scorpions are the little boogers, man. I can't stand those things. They're hard to see. One of the ways that people find them is you actually take a black light and you go outside at night with your black light and they glow like a neon light, and you can see them. I even one time went in my garage with a black light and turned the light off, and I saw a scorpion. I flipped the light back on and looked exactly where he was, and I couldn't even see him. I had to get down closer to see him. He was so camouflaged. They are really hard to find. I remember one morning I was sitting drinking coffee. I had my feet crossed at my ankles, and I felt a tickle, and I looked down and there was a scorpion crawling across my foot. Oh, it still gives me the heebie-jeebies. So if you don't like creepy crawlers, yeah, I wouldn't move here. A lot of black widows. You have to be careful with those. A lot of times that has something to do with, sometimes there's crickets or other bugs that they feed off of. So keeping an exterminator around to make sure that you take care of their food source, a lot of times will eliminate the black widows. Even the furry critters, especially on the outskirts of town. Coyotes will come right into town. I've seen them in the neighborhoods, walking across the street in the middle of the day. A lot of times they'll get up on the walls and walk along the wall of people's backyards. People lose small pets. They'll come and they'll take your kitty cat or your small dog. Even recently in Summerlin, on the west side of town, there was a mountain lion spotted in Summerlin that had come down out of the mountains. It was part of the year where water was scarce, so they were probably forced into town looking for food and water. But there are a lot of critters, so another thing to keep in mind. If you don't like critters, not a good spot. All right, we're back to the box again, back again. Number 5, I believe we're on here. What are we coming up with here out of the box? No grass and no trees. It's been one of the ones that's bothered me the most. Coming from the south like I am, where there's so green and so much grass and trees and water, just don't have that here in the desert. So let's take a look at that. No grass and no trees. That's another thing. Like I mentioned, it's something that has always bothered me. Again, like I grew up in Louisiana, and we had nothing but grass and trees everywhere, and most parts of the country that's if you're moving here from even California or another part of the country that's lots of grass and lots of trees, when you come here it's brown. There's we do have parts of town that have green belts, and we have a lot of parks, and there are some areas with more mature trees, but in general it's kind of brown. Even as you go up into the mountains, a lot of the mountains are pretty brown as well. So one of the things that I've had a hard time adjusting to is the fact that there's not a lot of grass and not a lot of trees, just not a lot of green. So if you're used to that and it's something that's important to you, that's another negative about Las Vegas. All right, reason number 6. Back to the box. Let's see what we come up with here. Transient population. transient people that come and go out of Las Vegas, come in here to find their riches, a lot of them, but they don't all stay around too long. You know, Las Vegas has a very transient population. There's a lot of people that move here that are, you know, I think enamored with the neon lights and the idea of Sin City, and they come here and they try to make their fortune, or they try to make a go of it here, and it doesn't work out, and they move along. So it's one of the things that I've noticed over being here for almost 20 years is it's a little tougher to make friends and keep friends, because a lot of them just come and go. It's just part of the deal here. And you know, another thing that I've noticed is a lot of times in the neighborhoods, your neighbor will pull into their driveway, and before they've even gotten out of their car, the garage door comes down. So it's a little bit hard to get to know people. It's a little bit hard to make those friends, but the people that you do make friends with, they're great people here. Don't get me wrong, I love the people here, but because that there is a little bit of a turnover here, it makes it a little bit tougher because of those transient in and out type of people. So something to keep in mind. All right, moving right along down to number 7. What do we got here in the box? Number 7, water rationing. We are in the middle of the desert after all, and we're in the middle of a 20-year drought. There are situations with the water rationing that we have to deal with here. You know, because we are in a 20-year drought and we do live in the middle of the desert, water rationing is something that we have to deal with here, and it goes right along with, I was talking earlier about no grass and no trees. The Southern Nevada Water Authority has really gone the extra mile to really conserve water here in the desert. And in fact, if you, in my earlier video, the pros and cons of living in Las Vegas, if you go back and you watch that video, it's in the channel library there. I talk in length about some of the measures that they've gone through to conserve our water. In fact, we're allotted a certain amount of water from the Colorado River and Lake Mead, and we don't even use that full allotment. So they do a really great job of conserving water here. So one of the things we have to deal with is there's a very strict watering schedule. So if you do have drip irrigation in your plants in your yard, if you do have grass in your yard, some people still do have grass in their yard, you can only water certain days and between certain times of the day throughout the year. That schedule changes throughout the year, and it's a pretty strict fine if you're caught watering outside those windows. So water rationing is something that we have to deal with here to just make sure that we still have water here, since we do live in the middle of the desert. So something else to keep in mind. Okay, back to the box again. Number 8. We're drawing to the end here, pretty close. What is number 8? Service contractors. Oh, this is one of my major pet peeves ever since I moved here. When I first moved here, it was one of the things that absolutely drove me crazy. Service contractors. Oh my God, it's so bad here. Service contractors, it doesn't matter whether you have somebody that you're wanting to come out as a handyman, or a carpet cleaner, or somebody to work on your HVAC, or it doesn't matter. You call these people and you schedule a time for them to show up, and they'll just not show up. You take time off of work and you sit and you wait all day long. This has happened to me so many times, and it's happened to so many people that I know. Now, one of the things that you need to keep in mind, you are working with the #1 relocation team here in Las Vegas, and so we now have a vetted list of contractors that we recommend. So if you have somebody that you're needing to hire out, come to us and we can set you up with somebody that we know that will show up. But it is one of my biggest pet peeves about how I don't understand. You have a business and you have people that pick up the phone and they call you to come service their needs, and then you just don't even show up. I just don't understand it. So it is important to work with quality people. So again, we have that vetted list of vendor partners that we work with that we'll be more than happy to share with you. All right, back to the box. Down to the last 2. Let's see here. Let's see. Number 9. Crazy ass drivers. Tell you what, there are some crazy drivers here. Bad drivers, drunk drivers, uninsured drivers, drivers that think they're in NASCAR. So we'll look into the driver situation. Bad drivers. Holy cow, bad drivers. It is so bad here. I tell you what, if you're on the 215, which is the beltway that circles around the outside of Las Vegas, it's like NASCAR. You better not be in the fast lane, even going anywhere close to the speed limit, because you'll get completely run over. People weaving in and out of traffic. I mean, if you're driving and you're going 5, maybe even 10 miles over the speed limit, they're coming by you like you're sitting still. It's absolutely crazy. And then if it happens to rain here, the little bit that it does rain here, these people have no idea how to drive in the rain. I mean, it is actually scary to be out there with these people driving in the rain. And in the winter, occasionally it will snow or it'll get a little bit slushy, and God forbid you try to drive in the snow in this place. So bad drivers are something that you just have to deal with here. Now you're going down the 15. Now it's a parking lot a lot of the time, so you're dealing with traffic going north-south along the strip on the 15. That is an absolute parking lot, and now you've got people trying to get where they want to go, weaving in and out and jumping in front of you, and it's just absolutely crazy. So bad drivers is something that we have to deal with as well. All right, we're down to the very last one. Where is she? And number 10, allergies. I don't really have allergies myself, but a lot of friends do. Yeah, allergies can be really bad here in the Las Vegas Valley. Like I said, I personally don't suffer from allergies, but a lot of my friends do. In fact, I ran into a friend the other day and his eyes were so red. I was like, dude, are you hungover? And he said, no, it's allergies. His eyes were almost swollen shut and just totally bloodshot and red. His nose was running. He was absolutely miserable. A lot of the contributors are pollen in the spring and early summer, and those come from a lot of the bad ones are mulberry and European olive. In fact, it's so bad it's considered a toxic health hazard, and 20 years ago they outlawed them from even being planted here in the valley. So those are really, really bad to deal with. In the fall, when the heat starts to die down, you have ragweed and sagebrush that starts to put out its pollen. And a lot of people are, when they move here, who've never had allergies anywhere else where they lived before, once they move here, their allergies go absolutely wild. So if you have bad allergies, it's something to consider as well. Well, there you go. The top 10 reasons not to move to Las Vegas. They're really not all that bad. We really would love for you to join us here in Las Vegas. So keep in mind, we're the #1 relocation team here in Las Vegas, Finding Home Las Vegas team. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We're happy to help you make that smooth move to Las Vegas. Be sure and subscribe below so you'll be the first to learn about the current market conditions here in Las Vegas. We put out videos every week. The intent is to help you learn everything you want to know, the good, the bad, the ugly, the yin and the yang of living in Sin City. So if you would be so kind, shoot us a comment. Let us know if there's any other questions that you have, any other videos you'd love for us to make to help you learn more about Las Vegas. Also, hit that like button. It's what helps the YouTube algorithm put our information out, our content out for other people just like you looking to make the move to Las Vegas. It helps a lot. All right, that's it for today. We'll see you around town. Bye-bye.